Hey everybody, Nick DiVirgilio back at PASIC 2017, day 3, and I'm hanging out with Steve Smith.
Here we are, we're hanging out.
We're hanging out, man. Thanks so much for coming and saying hello.
My pleasure.
I know you've had a very busy show already. You had to come here like a day early.
So
you did
I
a
could
clinic,
rehearse.
So you could rehearse. You got a big show coming up tonight with the Air Force Band, Airmen of Note, right?
The Airmen of Note.
And I've seen them play with, I saw them play with Bernie Dressel yesterday and at the Atrium last night, and even with Johnny Vodakovich earlier, the bass player and saxophone player. There's great musicians in that
Very
group.
good band.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I've played with a lot of Air Force bands, and this is the best one.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're really fantastic.
And you're doing a bunch of Buddy Rich style stuff this evening? Is that what it is?
We're doing original Buddy Rich charts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how much did you
Love
have to...
for Sale, Nutville,
Right.
Channel 1 Suite. We're gonna have some fun
Now-
celebrating the incredible legacy of Buddy Rich,
Totally.
who this year, 2017, is his 100th birthday, and that's the occasion of why we're playing the music of Buddy Rich to really celebrate his contribution to the art of drumming.
Well, it's a huge contribution, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, how much preparation had to go into, I mean, learning the material? Did you?
Yeah.
Obviously, you knew it ahead of time, but how much did you prepare for this gig?
Yeah, that's a good question. Over the years, I've played these charts quite a few times.
Right.
Usually a couple times a year, maybe as a guest with a college big band, sometimes a high school big band,
Right.
and sometimes with professional bands or the military bands. And so I'm familiar with the charts, but every time I have an opportunity like this, I get a little deeper inside and a little deeper inside. And so I spend at least like 2 weeks getting ready, like relearning the tunes. I get the charts. So I'm reading the chart so I can really get inside of what the arranger wrote, because when you listen to the album, you're hearing Buddy's interpretation of what the arranger wrote. Now the way I approach it is, of course, I love and grew up with those Buddy Rich interpretations, but I can't play like Buddy Rich. I can only play the way that I play.
Right.
So I have to know exactly really what is the arrangement so I can interpret it and play it in my own way.
Right.
And so I get inside playing the chart. And so that I have to have a concept that I'm approaching it with, and that's it. It's just bringing to life what the arranger wrote for this piece of music.
Cool. And I imagine you didn't have much time to rehearse with this band.
Yeah,
so
one day we rehearsed. We ran through each tune once.
Okay.
And
how you feeling about it?
Good.
Good.
It was really good. I mean, the guys, they really know the charts. I
They seem
mean,
like great
I did
players.
my homework. I knew the charts, so we just ran through a couple of, let's go over that, like 8 bars again, and that was all we needed. So
Very
hopefully it'll all work out
Well,
tonight.
good. I wish you all the best for the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, are you still touring with Journey? I mean, is Journey still doing gigs? We saw you up in Fort Wayne not too long ago. It was a great show.
I did 2016, 2017. Each year we did a 6-month tour.
Okay.
And we're talking about another 6-month tour next year.
Okay, so you're still keeping busy with that as well.
Yeah. But there's a long breaks in between the tours, so I have plenty of time to do my own band.
Right.
I've just put out a new Vital Information record called Heart of the City. We went out and did a little tour of the East Coast. In January, I'll be on the West Coast. In fact, during the NAMM show, I'll be playing at Catalina Bar and Grill, the jazz club in Hollywood during that. But I'll be doing a whole West Coast tour. That's all the dates are already on my website, vitalinformation.com. You can check them out. And then we'll go to Japan to play over there in March. And I got a lot of gigs in New York in the jazz club. So I get, at this point, it's really working out because I have a lot of time to do my own thing.
Very cool. So I got one technical question for you.
What is it?
Going back and forth between Journey and your sort of jazz life that you have, all the music you play, from big band to your Vital Information, all that stuff. Not a mindset. Is your playing have to change how hard you hit the drums? Because when I saw you play with Journey in Fort Wayne not too long ago, you still have the same fluid look, the same fluid feel as a viewer and a listener. How do you?
I don't really
change
play
anything?
any
No, okay.
different.
I'm just curious about that.
I know how to get a big sound out of the drums,
Okay.
and getting a big sound doesn't require hitting the drums extra
harder or
hard.
any- right.
Yeah, it's like drawing the tone out of the instrument and having a very good inner balance. That balance between the bass drum and the snare drum
Right.
and the cymbal. So, keeping it all collected rather than sort of this overdone crashing of cymbals, breaking of sticks, denting of heads. So I just have that. And then, of course, the overall level changes when it comes to if I'm playing in an acoustic jazz trio. The overall level may be, like, for the most part, a lot lower, where with Journey, it's on the upper end of this, volume range that I play. But I don't overdo it, and I'm really careful not to hurt myself, and not to play in a way that doesn't sound or feel musical.
Right.
The one thing I have noticed is that after the 6-month tour, the first one that I did in 2016 ended in September. In October, I was playing some Buddy Rich charts with Bobby Shue, the great trumpet player who played on a lot of the original, like West Side Story, and we played some Buddy Rich charts. That was actually a lot harder than the Journey playing because of that ride cymbal of ding 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 ding, like up tempo for like 7 minutes, or like really like keeping a 15-piece band together with playing a lot of jazz ride cymbal, and that chop kind of went away playing the rock stuff. It's actually a whole lot easier than really developing that ride cymbal technique. So it helped me, like, okay, I got to readdress. I'm not going to lose my ride cymbal chops next time around. So even when I'm not on stage playing that jazz ride kind of stuff, I'm in the practice room keeping my chops up.
There you go. Very cool. Well, thank you for that information. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about gear. Sweetwater, obviously, major gear retailer. We brought Sonar on. It's a pretty recent brand for us. And I never really had the opportunity to play Sonar throughout my career just because I had played other brands and just didn't have a chance to. But recently, I did some gigs. It's a long story, but I'll get to it. I did some gigs with my band, Big Big Train, in England this last September. And Sonar gave me an SQ1 kit to play, and we're doing a big video presentation. I'm going to Germany at the end of this month to go to the factory.
Great.
And I have to tell you, boy, it was really fun to play those drums. And you've been a Sonar artist for many, many years.
40 years.
And I sort of, after playing the drums, now I know what that's all about, kind of a thing. So, how are you feeling about the drums of today? Throughout you've been seeing a long progression of that brand.
I started in 1977, and I saw Bernard Purdy play Sonar drums, and loved the sound, like back in 1975 or 76, and I heard Jack DeJohnette play Sonar drums, and so in 77 I needed to buy a new kit. I was touring with Jean-Luc Ponty, and he wanted me to have a big double bass kit. So I bought my first Sonar kit, and I just identified with the big, warm sound. The sound has consistently been great over the last 40 years, and they've always had good hardware, really high-end hardware. In fact, back then, most drum companies didn't have various lines. And in other words, they didn't have an entry-level kit, a mid-level kit, an upper kit. Sonar was always only the upper-level kit. So if you wanted an inexpensive kit or a cheap kit, you didn't buy a Sonar drum. So now they do have entry-level kits, but that was like the top of the line. If you wanted the best drum kit around, that you could buy a Sonar kit. So that they've kept the integrity, and in fact, I still have my original kit, or one of my original kits, and my new kits, and they all sound amazing. They all sound great. So I'm really pleased with the integrity of the company, and I've been with them. It's like Karl-Heinz Menzel, the president of Sonar. He started in 1977 as well.
You guys started the same year, didn't you?
Yeah, we started in the same year. So I've had a really great relationship with that company. This year they put out my 40th anniversary snare drum.
Nice.
Which is it's nice. It's like a vintage style, nice warm resonant wood snare.
Very cool. It's a good story. I'm glad I had the opportunity
Yeah.
to play those drums, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to talk to you
You'll
about
have
that real
fun
quick.
at the factory too.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that trip.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun project to do.
Yeah.
And Carl's a
Well,
great guy and
he is.
very sweet. All the people seem really, really nice.
Good people.
Now, have you been with the rest of your companies, the brands
Yeah.
you play? Have you been with all of them the same amount of time?
I have. Yeah. So I started with Zildjian, not really as an endorser, but just playing Zildjian cymbals ever
right.
since I bought my first 24-inch ride cymbal in like 1966 or
okay.
something. So, and I grew up 8 miles from the Zildjian factory in a little town called Whitman, Massachusetts. So, and Remo, Vickfirth,
Yeah.
and you know, all of the equipment I use now is the same,
okay.
that
Very
I've
good.
always used.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your new book.
Yes, Pathways of Motion. And,
Steve's new book here.
and it's an analysis of match grip playing. I've been doing a lot more match grip playing, and I realized that match grip isn't, like, in a way as simple as one would think it is.
Right.
It isn't just picking up the sticks and holding them one way. There's a lot of different variations you can get with match grip. In fact, I came up with, I'm really noticing I'm using 4 distinct grips. I'm sometimes like in this very traditional German grip.
Right.
Sometimes I want the stick to resonate, so I open the hand up so it resonates. Sometimes I want more finesse and fingers, so I'm in with this French grip. And then sometimes I just want the biggest sound with the largest range of motion, and I call that the Tony Williams method.
There you go.
Because that's the way he
Yeah.
held the stick, with just his back fingers
Yeah.
like that. So you have a lot of variety with all these grips, and you can mix and match from symmetrical to asymmetrical, and that's what is really the subject of this book,
Okay.
the 2-hour DVD, and everything's all.
The DVD comes with the book, yeah?
Yep.
Great.
It's all
In the back there.
It's all included.
Great.
So, Hudson Music, Pathways of Motion.
Now, how long did it take to make this book and write it?
Actually for me to like come up with the stuff took a couple of years.
Okay.
But the actual writing of the book in some ways happened all in one day. I went into the studio to film some lessons for Drum Guru,
Okay.
and it turned into this book. Like, Drum Guru has lessons, you buy them on your app.
Right.
You know, it's a Drum Guru app, and you buy like a 10-minute pack. You know,
Okay.
it's like a bunch of little lessons. Well, I had about 8, not 8 hours, but it was more like 3 hours
Right.
worth of filming. They got edited down to 2 hours,
Okay.
and it was too much for Drum Guru. So we decided, let's make it a book. And so at that point, we turned it into a book,
Wow,
which then
beautiful.
took about a year
Right.
to like really get it all into this form.
Well, that's good. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I'd like to definitely check it out. And hopefully,
Yes.
within your busy schedule, sometime in the near future, we'd love to have you come to Sweetwater.
I wanna come
see the
there.
facility.
I
All kinds
want
of
to
great
make
projects.
an album there.
I think you should.
I'm
I
going to
think-
bring one of my bands.
I think you should. We
We'll
have so
come
much
in.
fun. The recording studios are really nice.
That's what I hear.
And we got lots of great artists coming through. So hopefully we can make that happen in the near future.
Sounds good.
Steve, thanks
All
so
right,
much
Nick.
for hanging
Yeah.
out and taking the time. I know you have a
Thank
busy
you.
day. Good luck with
All right.
the rest of the year, next
All right.
year, and your book.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. Take care, everybody.